Hey, what's going on, guys? So we're going to be doing a side deck profile against Dark Worlds. So if you have problems playing against Dark Worlds, you guys can consider running some of these cards. So let's go ahead and get started. So we have Bottomless. You know, it hits Grapha, hits a lot of other Dark Worlds. Plus, it's a okay side deck against multiple different decks. Next up, we got Dimensional Prison, relatively good against removing Grapha again. And Graphics like their basic monster. I mean, once you get rid of the Graphas, they really don't do very much in the deck. Next up, Shadow Imprisoning Mirror stops all the effects that hit the grave, because that's kind of when Dark Worlds work. So it's basically like skill drain for them. But keep in mind that they usually do main deck skill drain anyways, so most likely it's just pretty much the graveyard effect. Next up, DD Crow, again just to remove Grapha. Wait till they summon the Dark World first and then do that. That way they've used their monster, and because if you remove, sometimes they won't summon the monster. Next up, we got a Consecrated Light. Most of them don't really side deck Thunder Kings, but in the off chance that they do, don't put this in there. But yeah, I mean, no one can normal or special summon dark monsters, but usually they'll just Grapha this thing anyways. So realistically, I think the best card is gonna be definitely Bottomless. It helps out really well against Grapha. Next card, MST. They always either side or main deck skill drain. So MST, if you don't happen to main them, are like Dust Tornadoes if you have extra room. But MST definitely better than Dust Tornado because it's a little bit faster. And yeah, you can hit that skill drain or either field spell. Next up, Dimensional Fissure shuts them down completely. That plus Macrocosmos is amazing. I kind of prefer Macro because if they activate something like Card Destruction, and you can chain Macro. Whereas with Dimensional Fissure, you have it out, they see it, and then they just kind of play around it as much as they can. Whereas with Macro, if they go activate Dark World Dealings, you chain Macrocosmos, then they essentially go kind of minus with it. Next card, Gemini Imps. One of my favorite cards, actually, to side deck against them. Because what it does is, when an effect controlled by your opponent is activated that would cause you to discard from your hand, you can send it to the graveyard and negate the activation and then draw a card. So it negates, destroys, and so not only do you get to put a dark in your graveyard, but you get to replenish your hand because you get to draw a card. So it doesn't make you go minus at all. And it actually makes the Dark World player kind of go minus, essentially, from there, because it negates it, and you get to draw a card, and it's pretty good in that aspect. Next card, Marionette Might here, and it's basically the variant of Puppet Plant, so you can take control, and it has relatively decent attack, better than Puppet Plant. But yeah, it's an okay card. If you're looking to side deck against them, I won't hit. I mean, zombies aren't really too hot, but I mean, yeah, it's a pretty relatively decent card. Next up, Kaiku the Ghost Destroyer here. Now he's really good. He removes Grapha, he removes all the Dark Worlds, so they can't use the field spell effect. But yeah, Kaiku definitely is a pretty easy card to get as well. And the last card, I kind of want to just put it in here for fun, but I mean, it is okay. It is Despair from the Dark. And once sent from the hand or deck to your graveyard by your opponent's card effect, you get to special summon it, and it does run over Grapha, because Grapha is 2700. But I don't think they'd drag down, and then they wouldn't hit your Despair from the Dark. But if it's drag down, I'm sorry, not drag down, but Dark World Dealings, yeah, I mean, you could special summon it, and he gets over Grapha. But he is not a fiend, so he will not get the field boost effect, so just keep that in mind. But he has 3000 defense. And so you can just special summon in defense, and that'll be pretty good. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of that. If there's any cards you thought that were great against Dark Worlds and I didn't put them in here, let me know in the comment section below. But thanks for watching, guys. Asian Eyes White Dragon, signing out.